Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our channel. The politics of this country is actually taking its shape. Kalonzo Musyoka have finally ceded ground to support Raila Amolo Odinga. And I have been following the Azimio la Umoja Delegates Convention at KICC, and I have been following the speeches on that end. But I want to give you a snippet of what exactly the day looked like, because I went to Jacaranda because after the NDC they were supposed to head Jacaranda. I was in Jacaranda up to until 11 a.m. in the morning, and the place was already full. I can show. I think if you look at these videos here, these are videos I took when I was in Jacaranda. So when I came back, up to until 1:30 is when Raila arrived at around 1. Then President Uhuru Kenyatta, Kalonzo Musyoka, and Gideon Moi arrived, I think, an interval of 10 minutes from 1:30. So the session has been going on. And Junet Mohammed made it clear that there was another meeting that was going on, a high-table meeting between Raila, Kalonzo, perhaps Gideon, and President Uhuru Kenyatta. And it's the meeting that started since morning, and I want to believe the tension was really high in that meeting, all the way from 8, and it took the better part of the morning hours, and that is why they arrived there a little bit late. So I want to understand that one thing that was sent of that meeting is to try to convince Kalonzo to support Raila Amolo Odinga. It can be viewed, depending on where you are standing, that he's been overwhelmed by this to the politicians, or on the other side, that he doesn't have a stand. But all in all, I want to come up, I was just trying to do some research, and I picked up some 5 points, and I think at the end of it, you will make your judgment, depending on this perspective, on whether this was a show of weakness or pulling a statesman card. But if you ask me, Kalonzo pulled the statesman card. Now, President, while talking there, actually said that Kalonzo Musyoka had equal chances and is capable of becoming president just the same like Raila Odinga, but perhaps Raila have more chances, or Raila's chances are a bit high. And so we witnessed the signing of Azimio la Umoja. Just a few projection on what some points of contagious issues that could have delayed that meeting, or that was at the center of the meeting. First was Kalonzo Musyoka's document, the ghosts of the 2017 NASA deal. I think he was still hitting that ground. Secondly was on this deal of Azimio Oka, because as of yesterday, the Oka team teamed up and they signed a deal, and they maintained that they were going to keep their identity. But today, we saw a difference, because all of them were there, and all other constituent parties signed. I did not just see Jirongo and Martha Karua in that meeting. Martha Karua's party and Jirongo's party were not there. I don't want to believe I don't want to say they're inconsequential, but I don't want also to believe that maybe Jirongo was not invited. But perhaps he signed, and behind the scenes, I did not capture that. So someone can also tell us. Then, after yesterday's meeting, they were to keep their identity. And Martha Karua was saying that even if they were going to form any coalition with any other coalition, like-minded coalition, they have to be equal partners. And without any further maybe speculation, I want to feel like Kalonzo Musyoka pushed Raila and Uhuru to the corner so that they could be equal partners if he's going to make that coalition. Could be also on the power sharing deal, on what exactly that can come on ground, on what exactly maybe they can get. But then if you ask me, the negotiation between Kalonzo, Raila, and Uhuru I don't think it was an Oka Azimio negotiation. No, it was the political parties. So technically, Wiper and KANU and those other parties in Oka have joined Azimio. But the constitution also says that you cannot belong to two political parties. However, both Oka and Azimio have not took their coalition documents to the register of political parties. So there's still ground because that deadline is until 9th April. So I want to believe there is still that window for the players, for the parties to move from one party to the other. The question here is, where does this put the Oka deal that was signed yesterday? And of also interest to me is what is the interest? Now, where is Martha Karua? Or what is Martha Karua going to do? Why was he not there? Because if it was on ground of Oka, one, at KICC, you remember at KICC, it's only President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga who spoke. If the Oka Azimio deal was the one that was going on, then Kalonzo-Musyoka would have spoken. And secondly, if you're keen enough, not President, not Raila Odinga, not even the MCs in that meeting, in the KCC convention, spoke about Oka. It was all the political parties, KANU, Wiper. And in the signing, there is no signing between Azimio and Oka. So that conversation of Azimio Oka, I think it's under the carpet. That's water under the bridge. So these are also some of the technicalities that we're looking at. I don't know whether if you are keen enough, Kalonzo's body language still speaks volumes. There's still not sense of contentment. When I was doing this analysis, the Jacaranda rally had not yet arrived in Jacaranda. And of course, we are also now going to follow to see if he's going to Jacaranda, what he's going to say and what is the mood. But even the stadium could realize that there was a lot of consultation between Otiende Amolo, President Uhuru Kenyatta, and Raila Odinga, and Junet. So that could tell you that there was a bit of that push and pull between the two. But again, Raila made it clear that their issues were solved. Now, guys, I want us to look at something that Kalonzo-Musyoka opting to support Raila was a welcome call to Azimio. Because in this channel, my very, very first videos in January, I analyzed that for Raila Odinga to mount a powerful presidential contest against deputy president, he needed first to maintain his 6 million voting bloc. After getting the 6 million, then Central Kenya comes to top it up, and with the Azimio concept, he can now gather votes even across places that you least think of him getting. Now, in my understanding, I think the presence of Kalonzo is a big boost to Raila Odinga. Not just even on the ballot, but the concept of Azimio of bringing unity and everyone in board is now getting its real meaning.
Kwa hivyo leo nimekuja kutangaza kwamba tutaendelea na muundo wa Azimio One Kenya na candidate wetu ni Raila Amolo Odinga. Namuomba, kwa hivyo naomba wafuasi wote wa Oka, hatutaki inji iende na wafisadi. Tunataka inji ambayo iko na heshima, na naamini ndugu Raila hataangusha kijikiti. Mimi sikilizeni ya mwisho. Sasa nataka nimuite ndugu Raila. Ya mwisho, mimi nilikuwa nikidhani Raila atasema safari hii Kalonzo tosha. Lakini sikiza, kwa roho safi, wa Kenya nasema Raila Odinga tosha mara ya 3. Kuja hapa ndugu yangu. Asanteni.
It's gaining a lot of credibility. And Raila Odinga's candidature is now getting bit of a powerful approval. Everyone else was expecting Kalonzo to be there. Now, let's look at it. Let's face this. What do you think are some of the factors that Kalonzo considered to shelve his ambitions for Raila Odinga? Guys, if you're watching this video and you have not subscribed, I want to kindly request you to subscribe and also click the notification bell, because when you do these videos, you'll always be notified. And I want us to look at these 5 factors. I think there is a likelihood of Raila Kalonzo ticket. The likelihood of Kalonzo Musyoka being given the running mate is very high. And I don't want to base my argument on this with the numbers. But I want to give Kalonzo the benefit of doubt here, because due to the kind of pressure that he was mounting and the commitment he was calling on Raila to obey the 2017 NASA deal, I want to feel like Kalonzo, the NASA deal was very close to his heart, and it became more of a Raila-Kalonzo affair. And for this deal to work, it did not need the Oka Azimio deal. It was reduced to Raila-Kalonzo affair. Now, in any case, the 2017 document was a baseline in this negotiation, then the likelihood of Kalonzo Musyoka becoming Raila Odinga's running mate is high. That is one thing that is there. But then if you also listen to the speech by the president, he has actually mentioned that he expects that in the last government, you'll see the face of Kalonzo, all the other leaders that are there. But I want to believe, even if Kalonzo might not be given the running mate, but again, he will have the high stakes in that government. It's either exchange of the two. Either he gets the running mate, or when it comes to sharing, government has the flesh is big. I want to believe one, that he's been given a very big share of that government. Secondly, Kalonzo also had to consider the financial resources to mount a successful presidential campaign, even if it was to go to bring the third force, a powerful presidential campaign that could match that of Raila and William Ruto. And in my own assessment, I think that was a shortfall on his side. And because I want to borrow this from even Salem Mudavadi. One of the reasons, Agoi lifted the lead, that one of the reasons why Mudavadi worked with Ruto is because he did not have that financial muscle to mount a presidential campaign. The campaign funds is also an issue, and campaign resources. If you look at, I was in Jacaranda, if you look at the kind of investment that is put in setting up this and just making sure that we have a successful campaign, I would only want to feel that is something that Kalonzo could not still make. Now, thirdly, Raila succession politics. And let me tell you guys, I want to say this honestly. If Kalonzo supported Raila in 2013, 2017, still 2022, even if Kalonzo Musyoka will be on another formation that is not on Raila's formation, he will be rewarded. And he will inherit Raila Odinga supporters, even if not from his from the Nyanza region, but across the country. Kalonzo Musyoka is very strategic. He is going to inherit Raila Odinga supporters if and when Raila Odinga exits the political stage. So also that is also a factor that he put in and looked at it and said, look here, I think just taking around Raila, pulling this statesman in 2022, or rather in 2027, he will be the statesman. And when he's seeking this seat, at an appropriate time, he will need the support of Raila Odinga, and I want to feel that is something that was really considered. Now, fourth, let's look at the Ukambani ground. If Kalonzo Musyoka was not to support Raila, you'd had the other option of going to support William Ruto. I want to believe he could go to the ballot, but he doesn't have that financial muscle to mount such a successful campaign. Then between supporting Raila and going to William Ruto, which one was going to make him still remain relevant? Remember this, look at this in response to the Ukambani bloc. This is a region that have voted for Raila in 2013 and 2017. So it is not very easy just to make an overnight decision and take them to William Ruto in a place where they don't feel like they belong there. I want to tie this with the point that there was going to be that friction in the ground, because the three governors in Ukambani are already with Raila Odinga. The MPs and some NCS also with Raila, but the MPs are sticking with Kalonzo Musyoka. So if these MPs were going to Kenya Kwanza, he would actually mean that these MPs are going to seek those elective seats with the Kenya Kwanza ticket, which was going to bring a backlash with the voters in Ukambani. So even in terms of hostility on ground or presidential reception, who was going to be easily received in Ukambani compared between Raila and Ruto, you will actually go for Raila Odinga. So even on this analysis, I really feel like it was a very important decision to make sure that he cedes ground. It's easy. And when he supports Raila, it's more of what he has done, completing their finished business they have been doing since 2013. But when he supports William Ruto, it's still a protest against Raila Odinga. So if they support William Ruto and he loses with William Ruto, what could be the outcome? Then his politics is done. If he supports William Ruto and Raila Odinga wins, then the three governors shall have overtaken him as the region kingpin. So the Ukambani politics played a very key role. Now, lastly, I think Uhuru Kenyatta factor. And you would actually say this. Kalonzo had a lot of mistrust between him and Raila and was feeling like everything is just being put on paper, but it might not come to pass. And with the involvement of President Uhuru Kenyatta hands-on that deal, I think it has given him the confidence. Now he has the hope and he has the trust that he can believe that whichever they have together, they're putting together, will come to realization. But let me note that here, unlike 2013 and 2017, where the coalitions were just a gentleman's agreement, the political parties bill have given a legal framework that now the coalition agreement is binding. And now this is something that is going to help both Azimio and the Kenya Kwanza team. So that is in the prefix of what I've seen. That is my perspective why Kalonzo Musyoka, factors that he considered before supporting Raila Odinga. And I also want to mention that I was saying before I was doing this video, I was watching live, Kalonzo Musyoka have gone to Jacaranda and is there with Raila and Uhuru Kenyatta, and he has changed and is donning now, is actually donning the Azimio blue color. Ladies and gentlemen, I think he has committed to it. Remember, there is still a period between now and 9th April. Whoever feels uncomfortable can still move out. But I really feel that he has committed, because whoever now will walk out will now be branded mole, undecided, and those tags. But no one really wants those tags. Question, where is Martha Karua? And what next for Martha Karua? Or what next for Oka?